Hi guys, it's Granny Tana speaking. Welcome to this FS22 Let's Map video. I'll keep on building on my map Wunzig. And we just had a German live stream and there we built this playground close to the farmhouse. So the farmhouse is not yet ready. This is a dummy house, but yeah, nevertheless, we built a playground because it's important. As soon as the kids move in, they want to have a playground, even if they are only imaginary kids. And then we built on this farmer's garden, because I want the farmer's garden to be an important part of this map somehow. So this garden will more be for manual gardening, and you could water it with a small tractor and small equipment, but the idea is to make a watering can and a bucket to put all the water and the seeds and fertilizer directly onto this garden beds. And those are only dummies right now, to have an impression how it will look. Later I will do this as a mod that will be included in the moment when the map loads, because interactive objects have to be, or not a mod, rather a placeable. And here is the place for the spawn point for all the pellets, for everything that grows in the garden. And for my taste, I would love to have something like 10 or more individual productions or gardens, small gardens here inside. But on the map we have a production limit, or in a safe game, that you can only have 50 or 60 productions in a map or in a safe game. And therefore it would be a bad idea to make as many productions for one garden. And then I thought, okay, I make a huge garden and all this is one garden, and it can grow quite a lot, much more than my garden mod for sure. It's like maybe 10 of my garden mods what you get out. So here we will have a lot of spawning, and it will look like several different garden beds. And yeah, and to put the fertilizer, you can go to every of those garden beds and throw it on top. If you like, you can throw everything on this and it will work for all of them. But if you want to role play gardening, you can go here and there, and everywhere you put your fertilizer, and it will fertilize the whole garden. And yeah, and the same with the water. And here, this is a dummy for the upcoming composting facility. This will be wooden and open, and this garden will have a special feature, and maybe I will make a mod as well that works with those features that you can place on other maps. But I think the mod will not be as huge, because it's hard to find a place that is flat for such an area. And so the garden will not only produce the fruit type that you choose, like potatoes or sunflower seeds and so, but also it will produce plant waste. Or maybe I'm looking for a different word, but I think you understand what I mean. So everything that is not the crop you use as a product, but everything else, so the whole greenery and so. And that you get in boxes, wooden boxes, and you can put into the compost. And after a while, in this compost facility, it will be another production. You will get compost from this plant waste, and you can put grass or hay and straw as well. So different kinds of products that you can put inside, and you get the compost, and you can use this to fertilize your gardens, or you can use this little production building and put the compost inside and make fertilizer out of it. And then you can use this fertilizer to fertilize your fields if you so wish. That's the idea. So we will have 3 productions. One is the garden, one the compost, and one is the fertilizer production hut. And here you can get water, either with your small tractor or with your watering can. If I manage to build a watering can that you can use to collect water and put it onto the garden beds and so. Yes, that you have the choice to play as a gardener somehow. And here we made this a little bit rounder, that not everything is so rectangular. Okay, and now we can do something new together, I would say. And I thought it would be nice to work on this park that is close to the hotel. Because as you can see, I only have 3/4 of this area with houses, and there all those will have gardens and such, and so they will be decorated. And this area I thought would be nice to have a little park. And then if you ask, or if the people ask themselves, why only 3/4 with buildings and here a park, when we have something like a park here and there, and here we have meadow as well, why a park there? I thought maybe because there is a little small pond, because I always love to have ponds. And then we could make some benches around, and trees and meadow grass to make it nice. And then I think this would be understandable if beside the big lake there was a little pond here. Everybody would understand, okay, we make this area nice and recreational for the people who visit the hotel and for the people who live in those houses. And then we have a reason, I would say. Before I thought, okay, this is why a park here, and now I know why a park here. So I have this terrain activated, it's round, what is good, and remove is okay, and the noise is deactivated, exactly like I want. And I make it more or less in the center of this. I think this is deep enough. Oh, oh, here you already get water, look. This is the big water plane from the lake, but I don't want to make it as deep. Maybe more like so, and then the water plane will be higher. So then I change this to replace and make Control R for the level, and then I can paint this. So, and maybe with a little peninsula where we could place a tree. And yeah, I thought on making several things that are not so rectangular, because I have all those square and rectangular fields, and therefore I think other features should should give the whole thing an aspect of more flowing forms. So now maybe a little, not flattening, but oh, I forgot what the English word is. I have this German version of the Giants editor, because when I do my tutorials, I do them mainly for a German audience, and therefore I need it in German. But for you, this is a little bit strange, maybe, all those German words. So maybe I copy the last water plane from the garden. And then when it's done, I can put it here, like so. Yeah, this looks not round enough, but a lot of garden water plants and such help. So, and how big is it? Maybe I pull it up. Okay, I can make it a little bit smaller. There is a strange thing in FS22 that you can't use exactly the same water plane several times. Then there are very strange shadowing effects. It looks totally strange when you go there, and in a certain angle suddenly you see a lot of squares and such, and it's not watery anymore. And it helps if you make it a little bit a different size, the water plane, and then you freeze transformation for the scale, and then it's a different shape, and this problem doesn't happen anymore. So water plane, hotel park. Okay. And what I didn't do yet is to add some nice ripples and such for the water planes, so they are rather blunt still, but I will do it later in the process of mapping. So maybe like so. Okay, yeah, I think it's irregular enough for what I want to make, and then it should be wet sand maybe, or maybe the grass cliff would be awesome. Yeah, and then a little bit wet sand. But first some grass cliff. This is here a nice kind of rock somehow. It's a texture from the Alpine map. So yeah, and then let's see, is it too steep? I think not, because here we will have a beach and there we will have a beach, and I think we have enough beach like banks, and then this could be steeper, I think. But here maybe I make it a little bit elevated that I can make a real rock out of it. So, but not so much rock that I can't put a tree on it. So yeah, maybe this is already the best I can get without getting those sharp edges like this, what I don't like so much. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit smoother. Oh, too smooth is the word I was missing. So, and now I paint it as a rock. Here. And then we need some soil on top, and in the edge area I make this grass cliff again. And maybe the whole structure is a little bit too small for everything I want to accomplish here. So then I want some soil, a little tiny bit at least. Enough for planting a tree. This is not at the place where I wanted it. Yes, here is good. And maybe a little bit scattered, that, yeah, I can make some bushes as well. Okay, and maybe even here some dirt. And I would like to make some ducks. I think it's ducks what I want to make. And not as a real animal that is really alive and that you can breed, but more like a very, very simple object that floats around here. And maybe I could even make fishes. I will make fishes anyhow for the fish farm that I'm planning to do in the lake. And then I could put some fishes here roaming around, and as it is not so deep, you could see them better than in the bigger lake. And I already had simple fishes on my map Port Limbo, and it was nice. I had them roaming around in the river, a river like that, and they were floating underneath the water surface. And it was not a big deal somehow. So only nearly invisible fishes, because that's how fishes are normally when they float in the water. It's hard to see them, and you really had to look, or to know that you have to look, and then you could see them. But usually you just go by with your tractor and you ignore the fishes. And then when somebody suddenly found it, maybe they were like, oh, I found fishes roaming there. So this looks still very, very barren somehow. But we will change this. I only think about what to do first. Maybe I make some grass first, because then I can paint the bushes and such over the grass, and yeah. So, meadow, harvest ready, only on grass alpine, yes. And not the whole park will be with grass. So there will be paths to go. Yeah, and the word road is easier for me to say, but a road is much bigger, so only a tiny path where you can go. And yeah, benches around this, I think. And trees, different kind of trees, and maybe even some more sitting areas. And I don't know whether I want to make a playground here, because we will have playground here, and maybe even another one, so maybe here or there, and then it maybe would to be too much of a playground. Maybe this is more the places where the grandmas and grandfathers go and sit when they don't have the grandkids with them, and they want some peace and quiet. And so this is the first, and here we need a nice tree. I would say a willow would be perfect for this place. Let's have a look. A willow. And is the type 2 the one I want? I don't know. I just try. And I have to search for a good place. First I bring it up here. Yeah, and then I have the village here, potato sanctuary square. I think this is not square 4, it is square 3, which is empty. And I call this square park. And maybe I push it further down. And then I put the I need 2 areas for this. These are the objects, and then I need another one for the trees. And then I it's sometimes it takes quite a while to do all the sorting. Where do I want to put the things that I can find them easily and that it's everything nicely sorted. So I call it Hotel Park. Hotel Park. For the trees. So because I won't only have one tree here but several trees because it's a park, and therefore I have to split this because I want all the trees somehow together, that you can have you just click and have all the trees. That is the idea behind it. So now I put it here. Oh, yes. I like how they did this willow. And it was already in FS19 in Erlengrad, and it's still there, and I always saw it. There were several trees in Erlengrad, and I always said, oh, they have so nice trees, I want to have them. And because as a modder you can't use the trees and objects from DLCs because they are crypted, and so I was always longing for having the nice objects from Erlengrad. And I was not so much into the map, but I liked several of those objects so much. And now we have the trees and even more. And I'm really happy about all the trees we have. And I would love even more, but maybe it's always like that. But if you have nice things, you want even more. But for the beginning, it's very nice to have all those. It is set to grass alpine. Now I make it to everywhere. And then I can have bushes here. So the peninsula is full of bushes. Okay. And then I make some bushes at the edge. Oh no, the bank. So. So you don't have benches all around, but more like everywhere where are no bushes, and so you can have some privacy if you sit on the bench here. And then I think when the grannies sit there and the ducks are roaming around, they will feed them, and then the small kids say, oh, Granny, Granny, I want to go to the ducks, and then they don't go to the big lake, but rather here to feed the ducks. So, and now I think we need some plants inside, because the ducks wouldn't find enough to eat, and the fishes neither. Maybe first those deco foliage and small alive rumex, which has nothing to do with water plants, but which are so perfect for growing inside the water. I really love them as water plants. Because somehow I think they look rather natural for growing inside the water. And also at the edges, at the banks. And maybe here I'll make some fern as well, because that would fit really good. But first I make those. And then maybe a little bit of what I use to take as this big water grass. I have to look it up. What's the English name for it? And I already used it when I decorated the river, which is not at all finished. But I made the beginning for it in an English video. So let's see. And I take the sugar cane in the harvest ready stage and use it as big water plants. Or maybe this is nearly too big for here. Or maybe only at one corner, because I think here should be this huge water grasses growing, and there the fishes can hide, and I guess they would love to hide. All fishes like to hide somehow, I think. And we don't have the original water. Yeah, oh, maybe let's have a look. There are water plants. And here I have the square park. Okay, and here there are different sizes of those. No, but this is a different kind of plant. This is another plant where I need to look up the word. This with those brown flower stalks somehow, and you could eat the root of this, but it's not commonly eaten. So this is number 5. And where is number 1? I want the smallest one, but I think they are all too big. And number 4 is this very huge. So number 1 is already rather small, but I think it's too big for my tiny lake. This 5 is maybe the smallest. And then, yeah, maybe I just try it. And I put it, I just started the copying process, which always takes a while, and then I put it into the square park because it's no tree, like so. And then, oops, I put it here. Oh, it's too big, I think. No? Yes. What a pity. Because if I would use it, the whole pond would be full of those plants. Yeah, and the center is the largest, so maybe if I turn it round just like this, but it would still be too big. I mean, some ponds are full of plants, floating plants, so this wouldn't be totally impossible. I could make this here a little bit bigger. And in the Platinum expansion, we get new water plants as a decorative objects, like this one. And they said maybe the trees will be free to use for modders, but I don't know whether they will give us the water plants to use. What is a pity, because they look very nice. But I think we can't expect to get them. So then I have to change something here. Maybe here a little bit higher again. Oh, come on. So. Okay. No, like so. Oh, I think the ducks would be happy and the fishes to have so much cover. And here, this further down. No, it's still too high up. Come on. Those foliages, very often they only react later, but maybe they are still too high. What wouldn't be a problem if they are a little bit higher, so looking out of the water, because here I have them above water, and I wanted to paint this fern. So this is at the ground foliage, and then the maiden fern or maiden fern. And where would be a nice place for this? Maybe even here. So here would be a place for a bench. Oh, and they grow in between those other leaves. That's maybe not such a good idea. Come on, I wanted to remove it, yes. Okay. Yeah, they are a bit special, those maiden ferns. But here it looks nice. And here they are too deep. Here. Yes, because I think they love to grow close to the water, but they don't grow inside the water. Other than those imaginary water plants. Wow, now it's really quite overgrown. I can even, let's see, move the water plants a little bit, because we gained quite a lot of space. And here then I think it looks more natural. Yeah. And then I put some benches and I make some gravel beneath. So first I save. And then I search for the benches. Maybe this is at the center. Yeah, concrete element bench. Good. This always takes quite a while. Good. And now I can push it into the other transform group. Yes. And then I put it here. Yeah, I took them from here. This is the center place of this small village. And I will add water to this fountain. Now it's empty, but I saw the Alien Jim made a decorative pack and he used this fountain as well. This is from Oberon and I like it. And either I make a different one that I like even better, because this is kind of dirty and it's not so easy to make it cleaner, or at least I would add water to it and maybe some water sounds, and so I have water recordings, and therefore I think I could make it nice or make a different one. I don't know yet. But here are the benches, and so I think at this park should be the same benches, that somehow this is connected. And I will make a path for, or several paths that you can roam around here and have your a little walk and then sit and watch the ducks. So let's wait. I close this. Come on. Yes, and then I take this again and I try to place them faster than with normal copying. BT control, and now yes, it's working. Later I only have to turn them because they are higgledy-piggledy. So then at the other side, maybe with a greater distance, Control BT, place, and then Control loose and push. This is a very strange technique, but it's perfect for placing trees, and as you can see, you can place benches as well, but they like that it looks nice, so they don't all need to look straight to the pond, but here they are like a little group. And when I have the gravel there, yeah, maybe this is good how it came by itself. Oh no. And very often when I try this technique, I lose somehow this pushing and pulling the control key. But now I think I have enough benches and I can start placing them. So And the placing with this technique is much faster than doing a copy with Control D, because then you always have to wait and wait and wait, and with this you chup chup chup, just pressing and pulling the Control key. But it doesn't come easy to me to do it. It's always a little bit, I need concentration to start this working. And this maybe, oh no, I moved the, let's see. Oh yeah, do you see this? This happened to me ever and ever again. And I got used to that they have those objects in locked groups, and then if you click on it, you get the whole object with the collision. But some objects don't have those locked groups, and then when I click on it, I get only the visual. So here, this first one is the collision on top and then the visual. And I clicked on it and only got the visual like so, and that's what I moved. And now it doesn't fit anymore. And therefore I have to change this rotation. Okay, now it fits again. I have to click here and then turn it round. And then I have to try to lock it as a group, but it doesn't always work for me. That the next time when I click on it, I still get this only the visual object and not the whole object. Okay, and here I did the same. The whole object with the collision is still there. So therefore I have to change this, and it's not so bad. I can just put zeros inside for everything, and then they find back together. And I try again with the locked group, and I concentrate on, do I have the whole object? Yes, I have. And then I can push it. Okay, now it's okay. And here is the same. Yeah. No, come on. Here is the collision. So the collision is somehow invisible, but when you click on it, you see this wireframe. And yeah, so it, and they make different collisions than the visual objects, because here you can see there are quite a lot of details, quite a lot of polygons, and the collision is just a box. So for when you run there and you hit it, the bench, it's easy to calculate when it's just a box, and they don't have to calculate all these polys, and therefore they do it like that. And it saves a lot of computing time in the game, and then it is a more performance friendly to do it like that. So maybe a little bit behind to that they don't get wet feet from sitting there, and maybe they like to go there with their small dogs. And the dogs shouldn't scare the ducks too much, I would say. The first one is too close. Okay, where do I put this? Because why not? It could be there. Yes, I keep it there. So this is this one. Yeah, it's not yet separated. So, and then maybe I should put some waste. Oh. I will find the object and then they say what it is. I forgot it. Usually I know it, how it's called. A bin. Yes, I think it's just a bin. So that you can put paper of your ice cream in the bin and the poo of your dog and yeah, how you do it with the poo of the dog in your country. In Germany, where I come from and what is my my mother language, first language. Yeah, so my first language is German, and there it's more and more that people don't just throw away the poo of the dog, but they take it in a little plastic bag and then they throw it away. And I think this is very good because when kids are playing or when people are walking, they don't want to walk into the poo and then stinking all over. And therefore I like this habit. And here in France, where I live, close to the German border, I live in the countryside. Maybe it is different in towns or cities in France, but they are not so much into putting the poo into plastic bags and throwing them away. They just leave them where they are. And so I always have to be aware where I step when I'm outside, that I don't step into the poo. And they let their dogs poo in front of our garden door. And then when I step outside my garden, then I really have to look that I don't step onto the poo. And then I'm not so happy about it. So, and therefore I make some bins here. So, okay, do I have more here? No, oh yes, one more, I think. Here, okay. This is a little bit lost. And it should go here. Okay. Yeah, and we have a ice cream cart there, so people can buy ice cream. And maybe they bring the bread for the ducks in a paper bag and they can throw the bag for the bread for the ducks into the bins as well. I hope I find a good, suitable bin for this when I talk so much about it. And first I remove this grass. So here I have the meadow and okay. And the grass is looking through the benches, and I think that would tickle when you sit down. And a little bit behind, because you need to have access. I think I make a path around all this, and then the grannies can decide where they want to sit. And it's not only for grannies, but that's my imagination. Who wants to go there if you can sit or play at the big lake or go swimming? But I guess some people would love to sit here. And maybe sit here in the daytime and go to the lake in the evening, or just the other way around. Oops. And if I make some trees here, this could be a nice shady area where it's not so hot on hot summer days. Yeah, and about the bread for the ducks. The ducks are happy to get bread from the tourists, but it's not healthy for them. But what can I do? The grannies will come and feed the ducks. Even if I make a signpost, don't feed the ducks, maybe I should do a signpost here with a duck and a red crossing the duck, or the duck and then no bread sign. But most of the people would ignore such a sign, usually. So, yeah. And now we make some gravel. Gravel alpine, yes. Come on, here. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't always paint where I'm trying to paint. And that is because the detail grid is not very small. And I could make it smaller, but then the map wouldn't be good for consoles, and therefore I accept that, yeah, when I paint here, sometimes there doesn't come the gravel I want there. I have to paint here to put it here somehow. And that is to make the map working, or all kinds of maps working on old consoles and old weak PCs and notebooks and such. And even then it's much more difficult in FS22 to make a map performant on older maps, on older PCs or consoles. And we hoped that it would be the other way round, because maybe, as you know, the consoles have more slots than in FS19. And so everybody or every modder hoped, oh, that is good, so we can put more decorative objects on the maps. And this had a terrible backslash for some maps, because, yeah, some mappers thought, okay, finally I can make the map as nice as I want it to be, and then it wasn't playable on consoles. Okay, yes, here we have it. And I leave this, and maybe I make a little bit of a plant that it doesn't look so perfect, but more a bit natural. So, and maybe I leave a little bit of this dirt, but only a little bit. Very strange. It is, let's see, the size is now, the radius is 0.25, so it is only half a meter, and therefore this is, I put it on 0.5, and then we try how it works. So the size of this circle is 1 meter in diameter, and still I'm clicking, and it doesn't paint, because maybe I have to go there, and then I have all this with gravel. I think I just leave it. And the objects can be placed much finer, so you don't have this big grid for the objects, but for the painting and for the sculpting and the foliage. Okay, but and the foliage depends on the size of the object as well. So a bigger bush has a bigger grid than a smaller bush or a smaller flower also. Okay. Yes, now I'm thinking on. I think I'll do this walkway, this path later in a different video, because this video is already rather long and it would take me quite a while to finish this. And I think the park isn't finished yet, not at all, but we accomplished something. So we have the central pond of this upcoming park. Yeah. And I think with this as a centerpiece, this park could become really nice. I hope so. What do you think about this little pond that we did? Yeah. Okay. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching and all the best. Till next time. Tschüss.